So let's talk about email marketing. Specifically, let's talk about Conquest email marketing. This is and can be one of the biggest drivers to traffic to your dealership website. Now, if you would have seen me talk about email marketing, especially Conquest email marketing 4 or 5 years ago, I would have said stay away. But I've changed my tune because I think that the way that customers are interacting with email today is different than it has been before. And if you have the right solution in place, it can be a great way to get high quality traffic to your dealership website at a very reasonable cost. And when I say reasonable, I mean comparatively to search engine marketing, social media marketing, video, all the other channels that traffic can come to your dealership website. So what you need to be successful in email marketing, first of all, is to have a unique, successful email template strategy. Then you need to be able to have a deployment strategy that's going to get your email message to the right consumer. Ultimately, you need to be able to have the right landing page for a customer to click through from that dealership website or from that email to your dealership website so they can engage with the content that's on your dealership's website, that it's relevant to the email itself. So those are the elements that we're going to be talking about with the Entice 360 Conquest email program that we're going to be reviewing today. So let me go ahead and share my screen and let's start looking at some of the content that you can be using in your email marketing. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick here. All right, so what we're looking at is an example of one of our dealerships. And you can see here what we're going to have is an image up on top utilizing some sort of call to action, some sort of branding. And then throughout the email, we want to engage the customer in strong CTAs, whether it's call now or chat with us now. Now, in this particular email template, you're seeing that we're able to bring in used vehicle content. So part of our strategy is periodically throughout the month is to be able to take used vehicle inventory and include that into these email conquest campaigns. In this case, the way that we build our used vehicle templates is each week that we do this, which we recommend the last 2, 3, or 4, depending on what your overall budget is. And then we're going to incorporate the 15 oldest used vehicles that you have in stock. That's going to give you a nice mix. Then we're going to talk about what makes your dealership different. And we can build out your email. And then we're going to bring in other CTAs or other branding elements like lifetime warranty or other things that a customer might get when they do business with you, like complimentary car washes or a complimentary 3-day exchange policy, 10% off service labor or parts. Those types of things we can bring in as unique selling propositions right in the email. $25 test drive offer is a great CTA being able to utilize in a Conquest email campaign. Other ways to be able to bring in CTAs to drive traffic to your dealership website is going to be able to create links to example of pre-owned sedans, pre-owned SUVs, minivans, by the different types. And then other things like, hey, get pre-owned Civics or pre-owned HRVs. And then we can bring in starting from and then exact numbers. So this is part of our overall strategy. Other things that we can bring in is going to be finance options. Get pre-qualified, get your free credit score utilizing the Entice Loan Maker Credit Score Express technology. Also, we can bring in service offers, accolades, awards, maps, other CTAs, get pre-qualified, find new vehicles, find used vehicles, fully disclosed, all of this. Now, we can also look at what this might look like for other dealerships, but you can get the idea. Now, this happens to be a new car campaign, and as you're seeing right now, we incorporate our 360 animated GIFs as ways to engage customers. We can kind of look at some other options for other dealerships as well. Bring in used vehicles, other unique selling propositions. Here's another example of some other new vehicle special offers with the animated 360 spins. Now, what's really cool about this, and let me just go ahead and get back to this right here. So what's really cool about the way that we build out our templates is we're going to create multiple different variations. We're going to have a new car campaign, a used car campaign, a holiday campaign, and we also create a special welcome to the neighborhood campaign. So when we build these out for our dealers that are enrolled in the Entice 360 Conquest email program, we're going to supply the template, we're going to supply the targeting and the conquesting and the deployment of these emails, the tracking of the emails, and then also we're going to supply the landing page experience. So we can either utilize your existing dealership website for the landing page experience, which would just drop these customers on these specials right onto your dealership website, maybe a specials page. Or we can add what we call our companion website. So we add this to a subdomain of your existing dealership website. And what that's going to do is it's going to provide a landing page experience that is going to mirror what is on the email itself. So if I come back over here and I share my screen, and let's say we come over here and we look at one of these. Let's look at one of these. So let's say I get the email, I click through from this Toyota Tacoma, it's going to bring me to a Toyota Tacoma landing page. And actually here, let me turn off. I have this special analytics thing turned on right now. I'm just going to turn that off. All right, so this is the landing page experience. You can see here's the offer right here. We have other information that we can layer into that landing page experience. We can push the customer right into inventory. We have, these are all OEM compliant with the offers built right in. Send this information right to a customer's email. And we got other CTAs that we can layer in, such as get your FICO score, get pre-qualified. Sell or trade, get a real offer, get a Kelley Blue Book value, schedule a test drive. All of this is going to be available on the landing page. This can be added to a subdomain of your existing dealership website, and we can share an analytics script so you don't lose any visibility into the system. So now you kind of get the idea. So from a landing page experience and a creative content standpoint, we're building all that out. Before we jump away from the content itself, let me just show you what happens if I look at this in a mobile environment. So I'm just going to see what this looks like on mobile. So what's great about this is you think about how customers are engaging with social media marketing on mobile right now. Whether it's Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, what happens is when a customer gets into that mode, all they do is they start flipping up, right? They keep on flipping up, flipping up, flipping up. So that's why I think email marketing works so well today, is because that is kind of the go-to engagement that customers have. So that's how we built these email templates. So once they get the email, they just flip up, they flip up, they flip up. So you can just kind of see, as I'm flipping up here, what am I doing? I have all of these ways to be able to engage the customer. Got video content, sales content, service content. All of this is going to be available for that customer as they're flipping through the email. So all of our email templates are designed to be kind of like this, almost like a social media platform for customers. Actually, let me go ahead and flip back over here. So all of that is going to be the email template and the landing page experience. I click through from 2.9, I'm going to get that 2.9. I click on that 3 tires, get 1 free. I'm going to get the information about the 3 tires, get 1 free. And we've already proven out when a customer engages with one of our emails that they're going to flip through, and we're going to get as much engagement on the lower part of the email as we get on the upper part of the email. So this kind of blows through some of the myths that it has to be above the fold content. If the content is good, the customer will flip through and go all the way through and click at a point that they find that interesting. And we can prove that out with the reporting that we have available in our system. So now let's talk about how we can find the right customer. Now, a lot of dealerships use the strategy that I'm going to email my customer base. And that's great. And you should do that. But email marketing should be also something that you are using to conquest customers in your area. So we've developed a very strategic deployment solution that includes creating custom audiences based on your sales data, where we'll go in and we'll mine your customer data. We'll find out the top selling zip codes. We'll go into those zip codes and we'll find customers. Maybe it's going to be based on the makes and models that customers own in those areas. Maybe it is based on the intention of purchasing a vehicle, so intender data. We have lots of different ways to be able to segment customers in your primary market area and conquest those customers through our email Conquest deployment solution. We create multiple different audiences that are used throughout the month. So we'll create a deployment strategy based on the overall budget. We do a minimum deployment of 50,000 emails, and there's no max, but we'll get that set up anywhere between 50 to 100,000 per deployment. And we recommend that you do these throughout the month, maybe the last 2 weeks of the month, 3 weeks of the month, or 4 weeks of the month. So we're getting the right new fresh content in front of different customers throughout the month, whether it's going to be a new car audience where we build up 4 different variations of that new car audience, 4 different variations of that used car audience, and multiple different variants of new movers or welcome to the neighborhood. So that kind of gives you an idea of what our overall strategy is going to look like. And then we deploy that. And we're going to track, and we have the ability to track what the engagement that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. And you're going to see here that I have the ability to go in and see out of the audiences, and it just happens to be one of our dealerships. They did 1.2 million deployments. Most of them are going to be that 100,000 plus, but we have some we have opener campaigns that might be a little bit less. We have 100,000 deployment audiences, 75,000 deployment audiences, just based on how we can engage customers in your market based on the overall budget. We look at the views, the clicks, the view through rate, and the click rate. In this case, we're at about 19% view through or open rate, and about 2.6 click-through rate, which both of these are going to be in the high teens, low 20s for view through, upper 2s to low 3s from a click-through rate. But what's even better is we can actually do a match back. I'm going to talk about match back in just a minute, but before I do that, let me talk about how we can actually target these customers. So when we create these audiences, not only are we going to do our conquest emails to those customers, we can expose that audience in the YouTube platform. We can expose that audience in our Google Display audience network, and we can expose that audience in social media marketing. So email, social, display, video, true omni-channel marketing can be done through the audience. So even if the customer doesn't open up an email, which we've already proven out that about, in the high teens to low 20s percentile is going to open up and engage with an email. That's still going to leave 70 to 80% of customers that don't open that email. We have the ability through our proprietary systems to be able to expose those customers and target them with display advertisements on Facebook, Instagram, Google Display, which is over 2 million different websites in your local area, and YouTube and Instagram. So true omni-channel targeting, whether they open an email or not, through our systems. And the results are pretty staggering. I'll just show you real quick what we're looking at here. So this is an example of some matchback reporting that we can do. This, and this, to give you an idea, this shows the development of the strategy that we deploy out. We use AI from a content creation standpoint, a subject line creation standpoint. We test all of those to make sure that we have super high tested closing ratios. Out of a lot of sales in some of these bigger dealerships, you can see a match percentage of 23.5 there, 23.2. And we can kind of go through all other ones, other matchbacks as well, 23.1. So what does that mean? So a matchback is going to be where we've created an audience that we send that email to. That audience also gets synced with social media marketing, display, and video. So we're going to present ads to them on those platforms as well as sending that email. At the end of the month, we can take all of a dealership's unique sales and then bounce it against everybody that's in the audiences that we used for the preceding 60 days. Now, we're not looking for like true one-to-one attribution, like, hey, if it wasn't for this email, if it wasn't for this program, you wouldn't have sold these customers cars. That's not what we're utilizing it for. What we're utilizing it for is to show that this is a way that we can engage with these customers. And the goal is to see, are we engaging with the right customers? Are we influencing a customer potentially to do business with your dealership? And what we've been able to prove with this strategy month after month after month, that we have engaging email templates, we have engaging landing page experiences. Oh, another thing I was going to share with you before I get this wrapped up. Let me just go ahead and share what this looks like in Google Analytics. So the number one source of traffic coming to this particular dealership is email traffic. And that is by an order magnitude 30% more than number two, which is direct traffic. So what that tells me is, and then also we can dig into all of the Google Analytics, like the average engagement percentage, the average time on site, which we're over 1.5 minutes time on site, which if you're looking at that data, you know is pretty strong. We have a 70 to 80% engagement rate, a very high conversion rate of these customers that are visiting a dealership website. So the quality of the traffic that's coming just from email is great. The quantity of traffic coming to a dealership website is very strong. We're getting a cost per user to a dealership website less than $1. So you think about that from a cost per user standpoint, from pay-per-click advertising to social media marketing or video or any other channel, you know that is traditionally a very low number. So very good value for money or value for investing. So to get things wrapped up here today, email conquest marketing is going to have multiple, you have to have multiple things in place to be successful. Number one, you have to have good creative content that's going to engage the customer. You have to have good, strong subject lines to get the customer to open those emails. Once the customer clicks through from that email, you have to have good, strong, relative information on the landing page that is optimized for engagement and conversion. And for the 70 to 80% of the customers that don't open the email, you have to have a strategy in place to continue to market to those consumers on other platforms. Entice 360 Conquest Marketing, Conquest Email Marketing does exactly that. Hey, I appreciate your time watching these videos. You're going to find this video plus many others at entice.com.